The end of every recruiting season, I'm sure, is super hectic. Is there anyone that fell into your lap or someone that came in off the radar at the end?
Yeah, I don't think there's ever anybody that falls into your lap. I know we had the young man last year with Christian Kalei, and then this year we had another similar situation with David Dash, and they fall into your lap in the sense that you sign them late and you didn't think you had a chance at them, but you know who they are, you know the coaches, you've kept an eye on them, hoping that something might shake down where they get something pulled late or something like that. And fortunately, we were able to add another dynamic playmaker with the ball in his hand in Dave Dash.
Could Noah, could you address the fact that there are no transfers on the roster? Was that by design, or was that just the way it worked out this year?
From the very beginning, we've made the statement that we're going to try to build this program with high school players first. And I think that the fact that there's no transfers is an indication that we're starting to have a foundation in the program now where you have younger players coming up through the ranks that can fill in for guys that graduate. So there's not the need quite so much for immediate help. Now, it doesn't mean that we might not take a transfer in the spring, potentially, if a great guy shows up at a certain position or whatever. So that option is still open. But if I had my preference, I'd rather sign a full high school class every year.
One position you guys didn't sign at is quarterback. Do you have transfer plans? Was that intended to be that way?
We looked hard for a quarterback, to find a guy to come in. We do need a third quarterback, and by the time we start in August, we'll have one. We shot very high for a couple of guys that were superb players, came close on both of them, and it didn't work out, so we still have some other options that we're exploring, and a transfer is a possibility. But I'm not worried about it because, again, we're not looking for a guy that has to be the starter this fall. We have two pretty good quarterbacks in the program right now, and so it's not as urgent as you might think.
One of the things that I'd seen emerging, talking to some of these kids, and I know it was a frustration of yours down the stretch last season, punt returners and kick returners galore. That talk about a lot of these guys having that ability.
Somebody in this group's going to probably have that job. I think that's a given, and that was a priority. We talked about that a lot, and it's not like we didn't discuss it last year. We really thought we had a couple answers last year. It just didn't pan out. And we're going to continue to work on it until we get it solved, and I think there's at least 3 guys in this class potentially that could do this job, and I think there's a pretty good chance one of them will do that. Well, certainly, like I said before, we'll give them the chance to compete for that job, and if it's a young guy and he's the best one, we'll certainly play him.
Certainly one of those guys, probably Matt Tebow, kind of the only local guy. Talk about kind of where you see him fitting in. You have him listed as an athlete, don't really know where you're going to play him, but where do you see him fitting into this program?
I love Matt Tebow. I mean, he's a great student. He's a phenomenal athlete, the high school Heisman winner and all those kind of things. But the best thing about him is he's a versatile player. He could play receiver, defensive back. He's amazing on kickoff returns. I think he'll be a great asset. Plus, when he came to visit, he was one of those guys that was outgoing, talking to the other players, and he committed to us verbally early and then came to visit and helped reel in some other guys. I think he's going to be a tremendous asset to the class, both on and off the field.
Talked about quarterback as one of the positions you weren't quite able to corral. Punter, I know, or kicker, one of those special team spots was also a position you're looking for. Is that something you'll continue to look for in that transfer market?
Yeah, we're going to probably, maybe not in the transfer market. I mean, the punters and kickers are traditionally late in the recruiting process. We've been working on this, so we will sign someone to be to fill the punting position, replace Eric Fisher's scholarship. It's just amazing how it works because everybody seems to forget about the punters and kickers till the last week or two of recruiting, and then they swoop in and try to offer scholarships and so forth, and so it's traditionally a little bit late, but we may have some news on that fairly soon as far as that spot goes.